Welcome to the League of Melanated Gentlemen podcast. My name is Spenser, and I'm one of your hosts on this podcast. And it brings me great joy to introduce or allow them to introduce themselves, the other members of the League of Melanated Gentlemen who have come here today to discuss what has been. And yeah, I don't know. Not my best intro.
Yeah, you tried it.
Definitely not my best intro. It didn't work this time, but we can't hit them all. They're not all winners, and it's gonna be okay. We're gonna leave it in.
I
We're
get
gonna
it.
leave it
I
in.
like
But yeah, that was that was rough.
it.
I've done better. We've heard me do better. So we'll just chalk that up to the game, and I'm gonna let the other gentlemen introduce themselves now.
This is Brandon. And of course, I'm Jordan.
So hopefully this isn't your first episode.
Yeah, they tuned out real fast. I was like, bro, they don't even know how to introduce themselves.
Yeah. It's been better. But anyway, if it is your first episode, thank you for being here and please stay. If it is not your first episode, you know where we're going. We have some stuff to let you know, and hopefully you're already a part of it. But if you're not, Jordan is going to tell you where you can find us.
Yeah, you can find us. We out here on social media, man. We out here. You can find us on Facebook. We got a Facebook group. You can find us on X. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on YouTube. And we are all at the League of Melanated Gentlemen podcast. Or you can always just type in LMG podcast for short. You'll be able to find us there and interact with us there. We need these numbers up. So, go ahead, drop through. Let us know how you feel. Talk to us. We love talking. Also, don't forget to rate and review us on whichever streaming platform that you use, whether it's Spotify or Apple. Just hit us there. And also, thank you. Thank you to all the people who was hitting us up, showing us the Spotify Wrapped, showing us that, we were their number one podcast that they listen to. We appreciate seeing that. We love the minutes that we've seen. We love the minutes that we've putting out. And so we just want to thank y'all for helping us out and supporting us. Also, scheduling updates. Of course, our episodes drop on Mondays. That's where you can, listen to us on Mondays. But on Wednesdays, we have wrestling with Worldwide Willis.
Sir.
What an exciting episode last week. I was listening to the start bench cut episode.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty good. I knew some of the names. You Spenser, Pat, and, Brandon. They did a really good job on that one. I enjoyed that episode a lot. So keep up the good work there. And then, of course, on Fridays, or every other Friday, I should say, but next week in particular, we have a new episode of DC Animation with Spenser and Friends. That is Spenser's review podcast where he reviews DC's animated movies. Spenser, what's on the list? What should they be watching this week?
So this week you're going to want to watch Justice League Thrones of Atlantis, and then you will hear us discuss it next week.
So if you have access to HBO Max, also it's on Netflix, have been dropping just a bunch of DC stuff in general.
Yeah,
yeah, it's crazy. So if you got access to Netflix, Max, or even just illegally stream it, do your thing. Come back and check out Spenser's episode. And I would definitely say DC has been putting out a lot more animated stuff. They have been coming with the movies. Like, they just released the trailer for Crisis on Infinite Earths. I think it's supposed to be a 3-part movie, which is nuts. We got the new DC animated isekai that's coming out. So people who enjoy anime, there's a Justice League isekai coming out. And then they also just released another Justice League, I think RWBY, or that could have been last year. But that's just basically another anime crossover with DC. And I'm very jealous that DC got to that isekai ideal before Marvel did. Because Marvel ain't put out an animated movie in a while.
Decade, maybe.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I guess they must get. I guess since the movie's hidden, they like, we don't need the animation part of it. We're just gonna get to it.
Unfortunately, yeah. Haven't seen a good Hulk in a decade.
That is also true.
Because Hulk versus. Oh,
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
those are amazing.
yeah, that was really good. So yeah, that is everywhere you can find us. That is all the scheduling updates we have, and I believe that is everything. So you want to get into it?
Let's go.
I think we should. So today we will be doing a little retrospective. We're going to be talking about the things that we have seen in Year of Our Lord 2023. We're going to be discussing the good, the things that we enjoyed, the things that we liked, the things that were good to us that were released in Year of Our Lord 2023. So, as is usually the case, we'll start with movies and we'll just kind of, talk through some of the things we've seen, some of the things we've liked. I will issue an unofficial spoiler warning for just things that have come out
Right. 2023
because
in the whole.
yeah, like just everything because
Yeah.
I don't know what we're going to talk about, but it is stuff that has been released and stuff you've had time to go see. So you just got to make it, it's just going to be okay.
Hmm.
So, Brandon, tell me something. What's a movie that really hit you this year?
All right. Movies. I would say I watched a solid amount this year. I was a little disappointed. It's funny. I was listening to our 2022 episode, and I said the exact same
You said
thing.
it said the same thing.
And I was like, 2023, I'm gonna do better. And I was a little disappointed in myself in reviewing the year. I did a little bit, but I definitely want to do better in 2024. Knock out some rom-com, dive in different arenas. But in this one, I want to talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. To me, it was the best film of the year. Um, I think there's another one on my list that's close, but to me, it just hit in all aspects. It rejuvenated the already really well franchise, doing really well. They do obviously a bunch of different projects with it, but I just thought it hit on every different aspect, and it lived up to the what we hoped it would be. Right? We were all like, "Ooh, this kind of looks kind of across the Spider Verse ish," and then we were like, "Man, I hope it's pretty good." And it had a lot of the cast was great. Had a lot of big names attached to it, but yeah, it really hit, and it did something new as far as they're actually teenagers. So you kind of get to see that perspective of the Ninja Turtles. So that was one movie that I really, really enjoyed this year. I had a good time. I actually saw it twice in theaters, which I usually do not do unless I really enjoy something.
Okay, excellent. It was a very good movie.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, that was we talked about it, and that was a really great movie.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
haven't seen it, you should go watch that. It's really good.
What is on? What is on Paramount right now? Because I've watched it again since. I
I
want
want
to
to
say it's
say,
I
yeah,
Paramount.
feel like yeah, it's on Paramount.
yeah. And then go listen to our review.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I will go next. Brandon mentioned it, so great segue. Across the Spider-Verse was so good.
Yeah.
It did a lot of things. One of the things that I didn't like realize, or well, I realized it when I watched it, but then I guess it didn't occur to me that they like probably did it on purpose. But in the movie, there are a lot of people who are not really on Miles' side, but all the black people are really trying to help him.
Mm.
That's
And
how we be. We stick
uh,
together.
yeah, I mean, yeah, honestly, like black people that really didn't know him very well and that were a part of the establishment that was trying to take him down were like, no, we stand with him.
Yeah.
And they helped him get through that. And you want to talk about a cliffhanger?
Yeah.
The moviegoer in me didn't like that.
At all. Personally, I hated it.
Yeah, I did not see that happening at all.
Yeah, like I thought the movie would end, but it didn't. But that's the only real issue I had with it. Otherwise, it was a really good movie. There was a lot going on.
A lot. It was a lot. I wish I have a few holes. I wish we had. I mean, literal holes. I wish we had a spot more. Jordan, why you do that, bro?
Because man, that
Uh,
don't make no sense. Have y'all watched it since?
I have,
No,
yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
haven't watched
have.
it.
When as soon as it dropped on
It's on Netflix, I know.
Netflix. Yeah.
Netflix. Yeah, as soon as it dropped on Netflix, we watched it again. I've already seen 3 times. Bro, that movie's so good.
It's really good.
It's good. I ain't gonna lie. I think the first one's better, but I do think this one's really good. And yeah, I just wish Spot was in it more. That was really in the cliffhanger. But Spot was just hilarious to me. That's why I was like, man, I wish we got.
Well,
I guess I wish we got the hilarious Spot rather than just
because he went from being like hilarious and irrelevant to being a fucking problem.
Right, and never speaking again. So it was just like, all right,
that's fine. That's what we got part 2 for, though. That's what we got part 2 for.
So yeah, we gonna see what happens.
Yeah.
Do we have they set a release date for that one yet?
I think it's next 25 or next year.
I thought it was supposed to be 24, but I also didn't like look into it. I just figured when it's coming out, they'll let me know.
I think the strike hurt it a lot because they was already working on it, and the strike happened.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and then they pushed it back. I think it's late 24 or 25. I can't remember, but
yeah, I think it might be late 24.
Yeah,
and then it got pushed back from the original release date on March 29th.
Yeah.
Okay. I would go with this first one, but I think it's going to be mentioned. So I'm gonna skip this one for now, unless it doesn't get mentioned. But one movie that I was not expecting anything out of because I literally had no idea about it. I kind of heard some rumbling about it, but once I actually watched it, I really enjoyed it. And that movie is They Clone Tyrone on Netflix. Did you ever watch this one?
I didn't.
Never got around to it.
Yeah, this one was surprisingly good, man. The premise is John Boyega, as we know from Star Wars, they actually he is just like they're in the hood and they have no idea what's going on. My man John, he gets shot and killed, and Jamie Foxx's character like sees it happen and he freaks out, and then the next day wakes up. He ends up seeing John Boyega's character again. His name is Fontaine. They see Fontaine again, and Jamie's like, "Yo, I just saw you get smoked." And so like they come to find out that there's a lot of conspiracy going on within this little suburban place, and there's a lot of like what's this called when you see like a whole, like you see stuff that happens in the movie, like Get Out, had a lot of subliminals, so there's like a lot of subliminal messages in the movie They Clone Tyrone, but the story is really good. The way it looks is really good. The acting is really good. Jamie Foxx did an amazing job. But you also Tiana Paris, who we know as Spectrum from Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
She's also in the movie. Man, they did a really great job with this movie, and I definitely recommend this movie to everyone. It's on Netflix. I didn't expect anything from it, but I'd heard like some kind of reviewers kind of talking about it before it came out, and I was like, okay, let me check out what all the hype is about. And this movie paid off, and it was a really great movie. Definitely recommend this one.
Need to check it out. I put it on my list.
Same.
Check it out.
You know what we did last year? Did we talk about? I feel like we talked about the Rotten Tomatoes last year. Did we just? I mean,
I feel like we did it for. Did we do it for movies? I can't remember.
We can. I mean, okay. We don't do it for shows, so yeah, we can.
Yeah. Okay. So let me back up right quick. Spencer, what movie did you say again? You said
I did Across the Spider-Verse.
I wish I remembered back in the day, not back in the day, but back when we reviewed it, like what the review was, like what the score was. But what do y'all think it is now?
I think both 91, 92.
Yeah, like I'm thinking low 90s.
We are sitting at the critic score 95 and audience is 94.
Oh, mid 90s. Okay.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. And then for the Ninja Turtles, what do you think it is?
I think audience for Ninja Turtles might be like 97.
Yeah, I think it's up there. I don't think it's necessarily Spider-Man is tough. I would say, yeah, like right at 90 or like 89 for both.
The critic scores a 96 and the audience scores a 90. So both of those movies, I mean, those are 90s. Those are real good. I feel like you can't be too mad about those.
It's true. And the animation bump is legit.
Then they clone Tyrone. I'm gonna throw this one out here right quick. It's sitting at a 95% for the critics, and the audience is 100%.
Oh, wow.
Damn. How many reviews?
So critic got 129 reviews. Audience, it says fewer than 50 reviews, like verified reviews.
Fewer than 50
Okay.
that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a low number. I was like 100.
Yeah, but that critic score is still good though.
No,
yeah.
critics was amazing.
I'm surprised that there are only that many audience reviews.
I think because like maybe it's a Netflix movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe because it isn't theatrical.
Yeah, that's what
But
I'm
I feel
thinking.
like there's some Netflix movies that like I feel like Bird Box got a bunch of shit.
Yeah, I do think they cloned Tyrone for many reasons that we probably know didn't get the type of,
we know
you
why.
know what I mean? Yeah, like we heard of it because Jamie Foxx, Boyega, but like I didn't hear about it on Variety or any of these other.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I just heard it through the grapevine, through the homies or somebody. But yeah, I need to check it out. My next movie, gotta go John Wick 4.
yeah.
I mean that to me, outside of Ninja Turtles, to me that was my favorite movie of the year. It was John Wick. It gave me everything, but then it gave me a little more like, to work with, a little more to chew on. Like the visuals was crazy, like the shots of the city and all that. That was crazy. The fight scenes. What's my dude's name? The blind guy.
Donnie Yen.
Yeah, Donnie Yen's character.
Kane.
Yeah, Kane. He enhanced he took the movie to a different level. Yeah. To where like I cared about, okay, is he going like when the movie was out there, I'm like, what's up with his daughter? Like, what's the like I was really worried about that. But no, the movie killed it, man. Like that's my favorite, probably my favorite John Wick of the four. And all of them were really good, as we've talked about. But yeah, that was a really good time. Like I watched that a few times over.
I'm sad that I haven't got to rewatch it yet. Like I know it's out there on streaming, but I still haven't rewatched it yet.
Yeah. I ran it back about 3-4 times. That's just like a casual, I can throw that on and do some stuff, you know what I mean? Just rewatchability is super high.
No, I agree. I think all of them are real high for rewatchability.
Oh yeah. Like if any John Wick is on, yeah, I'll stop and watch it.
Yeah. Same.
Let me ask y'all, is there any franchise that's better than John Wick in the MCU right now? Like the Captain America trilogy versus this trilogy of John Wick. Is that unfair to compare?
No, it's not. It's not close to me.
Who's the winner?
Come on, man. Like Cap is waxing that ad. What you mean?
So no. That first Captain America movie hurts it.
Yeah,
John Wick. Nothing hurts John Wick.
John Wick 2 is not on the level of
John Wick 2 is my favorite one. So you watch your mouth.
Bro, that is wild.
No, it's not. It's not on the level of
John Wick 2 is the movie where he breaks the rules of the Continental. Like John Wick 2 does so much world building and it gives us so much knowledge about what this is. Like we learn so much. We learn where he gets all of his equipment from. Like, no, the second movie is great. Santino is a bitch. And seeing like John Wick is willing to break the rules to kill him. The whole thing with him and Common, like, yeah.
Common, he didn't do it for me. We're talking Winter Soldier guy. Come on, man. Like, come on. What are we doing?
I'm saying this is tough, bro. I think this is a tough one.
That's the thing. The first Captain America movie is that hurts it.
Bro.
At the end of the day. Now, the third John Wick movie is the weakest one, and it's still really good. Like we all agree that the third one was the weakest one.
I think so.
And
this is debatable.
It's not debatable.
I mean,
this is definitely,
bro.
We're talking about 3 movies versus 4.
That's true, but also, like, if we're gonna poke holes, if we're doing this debate, I have to poke holes in my boy's performance.
Yeah, whose performance,
bro? Keanu Reeves' acting is ass.
I don't need him to act.
Really
that's not why I'm there.
That's not what I'm there. I'm not saying that's why I'm there. I'm not for an Oscar performance. But when it was a few times in John Wick 4 where I was like, bro, like, like y'all could write something better than that. Like he just turned around.
Bro, he's a man of few words.
Man, come on, man, come on. Now, like if we're comparing movies, like the acting in Captain America movies is 10 times better. Like he gives you the action and the acting. Whereas
let's take away Captain America right quick. Is there every other franchise who has multiple, at least 3 movies? Is John Wick better?
Spider-Man.
The only one who's even like in the conversation would be Spider-Man, and that second one hurts it
a lot. Like that second one is bad to me.
Okay, that's fair. That's
fair. Good question. We can throw it in the chat. We
got to make a poll for this one. I think this is very debatable.
And here's what I will say about it. Like, quite honestly, the Captain America movies are probably better movies, but if the question is which ones do I like more, which ones do I want to watch, which ones are more fun, which ones do I enjoy, that's a difficult conversation. Because
you rewatch Civil War. Come on, man. Spenser? What's your favorite movie?
Ever? It's my favorite MCU movie is Civil War.
Okay. Right,
and I've gone on record.
But is Civil War better than John Wick 1 or 4?
Yes. I say yes.
I don't know.
Winter Soldier is too.
Yeah, like I'd say that those 2 movies are like, if I was ranking movies just in life, those 2 are probably going to top any John Wick movie.
I don't know, man. We have to see what the people think. I think. What do you guys think the Rotten Tomato score is?
Critics
I don't know.
Stiff. You know, they're gonna be like, well, the acting, you know, like what I just did.
Mid-70s, honestly.
I'd say 80. I will say in 4, the acting was better, like the cinematography was better. So I'll give it like an 80, 84. And then like audience is gonna be like 90s.
Audience needs to be like 95.
Yeah. I would definitely tell you the critic score is at 94 and the audience score is at 93.
Hey, look at them.
That. Bro,
they did step it up though.
All these movies that we're talking about are in 90s right now.
Yeah. They stepped it up. Big time job before.
I like it.
All right, Spenser, what you got?
Well, speaking of trilogies that aren't quite as good as John Wick that are in the MCU, I know that we can't let this go on without discussing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Good call. Yep.
Yeah.
Because that, y'all know how I feel about Guardians, just in general. I've gone on record. Not a big Guardians guy, but this movie was very good. It is the best Guardians movie, period. Like, for me, there's no discussion about it. It's the best Guardians movie.
I think it's a little debatable. Yeah, I think it's a little debatable.
Yeah. And there are a lot of people who feel that way. Cool. You have your feelings. This movie gave us everything. It told Rocket's story, I think the best way it could have.
Yeah.
It gave us a villain that was just you just hated him. Like, just a real piece of shit that you wanted him to lose.
Right.
Like, we just hate him so much. And I know that for some people, animal cruelty is like, that's high crimes.
Right.
There are some people that love their animals more than they love any human on Earth.
A lot of people, unfortunately.
I know that, there were some people that, they was crying just all throughout.
I mean, that was definitely me. I'm not even gonna cap. I definitely cried twice.
Yeah, that was definitely there.
But that's the thing. It had the comedy. It had the emotional scenes, the crying scenes. It had the action. Like, all of the, like, the fight scenes were really good. The banter was good. Like, it was pretty all around a good movie. And it gave us more than we expect from a Guardians movie. Like, it hit on some heavy things. And it was, to me, easily the best Guardians movie. But
I don't know about easily, but no, I agree though. Like, it had a different type of depth to it. Like, the father-son stuff really got me, as far as Peter Quill and stuff. and I love that this is one of the few MCU movies in this phase that like it wasn't saving the entire universe. It was just trying to save Rocket. It was a very focused story. We knew what they were doing from the jump. All right, cool. We can follow this, but it wasn't some multi-dimensional,
They didn't have big
bullshit.
stakes. Like
Yeah,
they kept it like tight.
Yeah,
They kept it in the
kept
house.
it tight, and you actually cared more because you knew what you were caring about, rather than some like multi-dimensional shit we don't even know about. So it was very focused. It was honestly the perfect way to finish the trilogy. Honestly,
And I know I mentioned this in our review episode, but again, a lot of crying moments. But whenever they heard his voice for the first time,
oh yeah,
Yeah, that
like
was tough.
whenever he had been down, and then they were just talking on the comms, and then he like spoke, and the way that hit everybody, it
yeah,
hit me too.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
When Batista and the little girl, man,
Oh yeah.
that got me.
When
That
it's like,
got
no,
me.
oh no, when Gamora was like, "You're not a
or
destroyer."
Nebula.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
What did I
bro.
say?
yeah, you said Gamora.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Never.
yeah, yeah,
You're a father? Come
yeah.
on,
Because
Bro,
that's
man.
the thing.
got me.
And that's the thing. I didn't expect to care about Nebula like ever. Like there was no
Yeah,
point in this when I thought, I really care about Nebula's development. But
right.
like
Her
in
arc is
this movie,
dope.
Nebula gave me moments. Like
Yeah,
it was her, like whenever Rocket spoke, it was her reaction that got me. And then yeah, she was the one that it was a good movie.
bro.
Yeah.
They hit me back to back. I was straight. And then when they hit me the back to back moments, I was like, God, dog.
Or
Like,
even it's crazy because like we all knew Rocket's backstory, but
yeah,
like the scene where we see him talking to Lila and like she's like, "It's not your time." I was like, "Come
yeah.
on, man. This has got me out here stressed." Like, come on, man. I was
It's
like,
not your
Rocket,
time. Don't
it's
walk
not
into
your
the light.
time, man. You got to go
Yeah,
back, man. That's rough.
it's tough, man. That's the best movie of this phase for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Um, it's funny. Like I knew all the movies that you guys named were on my list, and so I was like, I knew there was going to be a lot of kind of crossover.
Mm.
But my next movie, I don't think you guys seen yet, and this is actually the most recent movie that I've watched as of this recording. And oh wait, Guardians. My bad. I forgot. What y'all think it is now? Let's get to that right quick.
That's for sure 90s.
I would think low 90s. I'm gonna say, yeah, like low 90s for critics, but audience is probably like 94.
So critic score is actually an 82, which is way lower than I
I
thought it would
know
be.
Joanna Robinson, who I really enjoy from Ringerverse, she didn't love it as much as most people. And I was like, she like poke holes in. I was like, damn. So that means like some
Yeah, 'cause
critics, not all.
she's a critic, right?
Yeah, she is a literal critic. So it was just like,
Yeah, it's not good.
yeah.
How
And
did
then
Charles feel?
I feel like Charles liked it, but no, I feel like Charles really liked it. Actually, now I think about it,
Okay.
he really liked it.
the audience score though is a 94, which kind of we knew would be
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
So but yeah, anyway, so this movie is the most recent movie I watched, and when I tell you I had a fantastic, I had a fantastic time watching this movie, and this is Godzilla minus one. So
Man,
yeah, if people know me, like they know I like Godzilla. I'm a big kaiju fan. In this movie, I was excited for because I love the old black and white Godzilla. Like I love the guy in the costume. My wife gets so mad at me when I put those movies on. Like she will walk into the room and see a Godzilla movie, and she's like, "No, turn it off right now. Turn it off." And so I love those movies. Legendary, they're doing anything with the Godzilla that's out now, the 2014 Godzilla and that kind of universe they got built over there. But for me, the Japanese Godzilla is the superior one, in my opinion. And the minus one Godzilla, the story in this, it was fantastic. Like with the legendary movies, the humans are cool and all. Like I definitely prefer to see more Godzilla, but like with the Japanese Godzilla, the humans are just like top tier. And in this one, we were following basically a pilot who was supposed to be a suicide bomber. Basically, it takes place in World War II. He was a kamikaze pilot, and so like he gets afraid, and he's like, "I don't want to die, so I'm not going to do this." So like he like takes his plane, flies to some island, and you know, he pretends like his plane is hurt or whatever, and so he's just hanging out there. So we actually see Godzilla, and the movie kind of starts off. You see Godzilla small, and like this Godzilla, you know, Godzilla, he has a lot of destruction, but he doesn't like individually, you know, kills people. This Godzilla was individually grabbing people with his mouth, eating people, stepping on people on purpose. And so we see him kind of small, no bigger than like a house. Throughout the movie, we see him get bigger. And when I tell you the size of this Godzilla and the way he uses his atomic breath, I've never seen a Godzilla with an atomic breath like he did. The scene was just so amazing, man. The CGI was also really good. This Godzilla is also scary because like this Godzilla can regenerate. You see him like lose like a big portion of his mouth and he regenerates. And so you're like, how can they even kill this Godzilla? By the end of the movie, though, you will be crying. You will be happy to see that, you know, how it ends with Godzilla and how you figure this out. The end credit, the last scene is like, oh, so they're building like a whole little thing here. Um, I'm just telling, like, this was a very special movie. And I definitely recommend this to a lot of people. And as of this recording, I saw like this movie didn't get a big theatrical release here in the US.
Yeah.
So I just saw today that they actually put it in 2,500 more theaters. Yeah, and they extended the time too. Because like it's just been doing amazing. And they're also talking about putting this movie in the Oscars, Emmys. Oscars is movie, right?
Oscars is movies.
Oscars,
yeah. So this movie potentially is going to be going up for an Oscar right now.
I can definitely see that.
Yeah, I don't know which category is yet, but I'm telling you, if you get a chance to, also this movie is in Japanese, so you have to read. So y'all niggas out there who can't read, like y'all might be out of luck. But yeah, it's really good. I'll tell you right now, as of this recording, the critic scores a 97 and the audience scores a 98. So it's been a big deal, and if you haven't heard about this Godzilla -1, like you're missing out.
I've heard a ton about it, and honestly, I've looked up like theater times to go watch it. Like I'm probably gonna go see it just because, like I heard the hype initially, then it kind of obviously started in Japan, then it kind of came even more over here. You start hearing more and more just because Godzilla is really on top of mind right now with all
it's the 70th anniversary of Godzilla. So that's why we've been getting a lot more Godzilla. So like, for example, the Godzilla versus Justice League, which me and Brandon discussed in our comic book council meeting. So that's the reason that came about. The reason this new movie came about. The reason why we recently saw the new trailer for Kong versus Godzilla come about. Like, so this is the 7th anniversary of Godzilla. So that's why we're seeing like a lot more Godzilla stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely go check it out.
Yeah, I can't wait for this one to be put on streaming though. I'm definitely going to watch it again. So, Brandon, you got any other movies?
I was gonna say Cross the Spider-Verse, but lastly, I'll say last year I talked about Last Kingdom, right? It was a Vikings show on Netflix, 5 seasons, really, really good. Well, this year they basically, to end the series, they put out a whole movie. It was it's like hour and a half. It's called Last Kingdom, 7 Kings Must Die. And man, it's amazing, bro. Like top tier, really pays homage to the show, but also you can tell it kind of enhanced because it's a movie, it's kind of contained. It's a really good show. Y'all know I love Viking stuff, anything like that. And it's a really good, and low key, I got emotional at the end. Like just the way it ends and stuff from my boy Uhtred, who started from the bottom, ended up at the top, and kind of ended. We all know how Vikings show, like what their goal is with Valhalla and things of that nature. So this, just the way it ended, was so satisfying because Uhtred goes through a lot through the 5 seasons. And I mean, yeah, you kind of need to watch the 5 seasons to understand things. But if you watched it by yourself, I think you would still enjoy The Last Kingdom, 7 Kings Must Die. So that's definitely one of the best movies I saw this year.
What do you think the critic and audience score is?
I don't know if people tapped in, man. I don't know if people tapped in.
So a little nervous, huh?
I'm gonna go low 80s.
For which one?
I'm gonna go low 80s for critics. Audience, I'll go low 80s for both.
So the critic score is a 82 and the audience score is a 71.
What? See, that's odd.
Yeah, that's a tough one. And it sucks when it's like something you really enjoyed. But we honestly we like to do Rotten Tomatoes, but we don't necessarily care about the score. But I will
Yeah,
say it's a little disappointing when something you really like gets a little lower score than you thought it should get.
that's wild, bro. Because the movie's amazing. It had a great premise. Like he goes on a whole journey and he has to fulfill it. It's really good, man. So, and I'm sure there's probably some people who are like, "Oh yeah, this is a new Viking movie. I'm gonna check it out," not knowing it's tied to 5 other seasons. And then they're probably like, "Who the hell is these characters?" You know what I mean? Because they don't do a ton of introduction in it because they kind of expect you to watch
Watched
the TV
everything.
show. Yeah, so that might be a part of it.
Okay. Spencer, you got any other movies you checked out? There's
I
some of
did.
your favorites. What you got?
I enjoyed The Equalizer 3.
Mm,
I feel like a lot of people didn't get a chance to see it, but it was pretty good. I would say it wasn't quite as good as the first one, but it's definitely better than the second one. It takes place in Italy, and we see we see Robert almost die,
mm,
and we also see Robert find peace and find happiness. And I I like the way it ended. I like that it ended. He's good. Like we don't need to do a bunch of
right.
extra. He's good. He is retired. He has found a village of people that love him as he is. And that's another thing that I really liked is we didn't have to. I know how things are, in real life for Black people, generally speaking, but we see him in a village where the people just see that he is a nice man and they take care of him.
Mm,
Like they just care about him as a person because they see that he is a good dude
right.
and they just accept him. And I really like that, that discernment and that just level of hospitality, and the fact that he didn't have to go through any turmoil being there. He didn't have to deal with any mess from like
Right.
the local townspeople. Like he just became a regular and they were just happy to see him. And then
Mm,
whenever some shit went down, he took care of it.
right.
Uh because
Violently.
yes, there were some, and he tried to be diplomatic about it. I mean, as Robert McCall does, he definitely, saw somebody, being abused by the gangs, and he was like, "Hey, please leave. You can do your shit anywhere else on Earth, just not here."
Right.
And of course, they didn't listen, so he had to fuck them up. And we also see, in this movie, we know that Robert McCall has a soft spot for the kids, and it was a kid who almost killed him.
Mm,
So yeah, it was good. Uh, I enjoyed it. I had a good time watching it, and yeah, I mean, it's the Equalizer, so it's just a man with a particular set of skills,
right.
he really tries to not do it, but we also see him kind of nepotism his friend's daughter into getting an office at her job.
Huh?
Nepotism is never good.
I mean, it's not actually nepotism, but it's his friend's daughter working for the CIA, and so he basically just gives her, you know, everything that she needs to solve the case, so she gets an office.
I was like nepotism.
Yep.
I still have never seen any of the Equalizer movies. I need to sit down
You
and
haven't
watch
seen
those.
any of them?
No, I never
I will
seen any of
say
them.
I've seen the first one.
Yeah.
It's not John Wick. I'll say that. Um, there are a few things that are different about it. I mean, Denzel does more acting than Keanu does,
I would hope.
obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a situation where Denzel sees something bad happening and decides that he's gonna have to step in
yeah.
because
Spencer, his name is Denzel, not Denzel. It's Denzel.
I know what I
Remember
said.
that. It's Denzel. Let's get this man name right.
Is that
Denzel
true?
Washington.
It
Yeah,
it actually is like
you didn't see the
he has
interview?
said that.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
He did an interview and he told people, people have been saying it wrong. It's not Denzel. It was like, it's Denzel. I was like,
No,
bro,
it's
ain't
not.
nobody saying that. Yeah, ain't nobody saying that.
It's Denzel.
Yeah,
Trying to be
I
different.
I know
yeah.
what I said.
Uh, what do you think
And that's the thing, like it's kind of like how I call him The Rock. Like I understand his name is Dwayne Johnson. That's the name that his mother gave him, but I call him The Rock.
Nah, that's The
Denzel
Rock.
might Denzel might be the name that his mother gave him, but his stage name, his name whenever I see him is Denzel.
Yeah.
What do you think the scores are?
I think the audience score is probably pretty high. So I'd say like 92. The critics, a man with a particular set of skills who isn't John Wick, they're probably going to go high 70s, low 80s.
Man, you're pretty good. The critic score is 76, and then the audience score is 94.
Huh,
So,
good.
like, hit on
Yeah.
it.
Critics don't like particular set of skills type movies. I don't know why. I mean, John Wick, obviously, but usually they don't.
Because they're not good movies. They're just like,
They're all the
Yeah.
same almost.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
like
a lot of action. Critics don't
there's a
usually
formula.
like.
So
Yeah.
yeah, like because there's not a lot of story that you can put into a particular set of skills movie. Like it's
Yeah.
a man who's collecting bodies for whatever reason.
Speaking of which, there is one this year that came out that I really want to see. I'm pissed because I missed it when it came out and just haven't seen it. But it was that one movie where there's a guy during World War II, white guy, and he's basically John Wicking like against the Nazis. And he's walking through Switzerland or somewhere, and I forgot the
Oh, yeah, I don't know what movie you're talking about.
I've not heard about that.
real man. I've heard a lot of great things about it. It's actually like when I looked up a lot of the like top movies of 2023.
Yeah.
It was on there. But yeah, I need to look it up. But apparently there's a basically same thing where he basically just goes through murdering Nazis. But
Okay. I don't have any more movies. I have an asterisk on a movie because when I first watched it, I really enjoyed it. But like as I sat with the movie, it quickly moved down into the other list that we will be talking about, on the next episode. In that movie, I'll go into more detail then, but that movie is You People. Did you guys watch that one?
No.
So
I'm trying to remember that one.
that's the rom-com on, and I'm not a rom-com person at all. But this movie I enjoyed it when I watched it. But that's the movie with dang, what's the dude uh from Superbad?
Jonah Hill?
Oh,
Yeah, Jonah Hill and Eddie Murphy and Laura London.
Oh, yeah, nah.
Yeah. So when I first watched it, I enjoyed it, but like a couple days later, I sat back and like kind of thought about the movie again a little bit more, and I was like, this movie wasn't actually all that.
I did see that movie, and we can talk about it in the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's it for movies for me. Y'all got any other movies y'all want to shout out that y'all enjoyed?
That's it for me. Sisu is the movie I was talking about. But no, I don't have any other.
Honorable mention, like this movie wasn't like top or of anything, but it was good. Honorable mention, Blue Beetle.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, Blue Beetle. It was
cool.
enjoyable.
Like,
Yeah, it wasn't
liked
top.
it.
I got you.
Yeah, I liked it. I had a good time.
Same.
There were definitely things about it very specifically that I enjoyed, but solid 7.
Yeah, that was a definition of a 7 in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because there were very specific things that I really liked about it, but it was, solid.
Right.
Okay.
So now let's talk about TV shows. I will start us off with TV shows. It should come as no surprise that we're going to talk about Gen V today.
Yep.
Gen V is a spinoff of The Boys, and they've done it again. I mean, it was just really good. The Boys, they know what they're doing over there. Honestly, when Seth Rogen gets his hands on something, it's kind of good.
That's facts.
Because he got his hands on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It was good.
Yeah.
He got his hands on The Boys, and it's kind of good. And Gen V was, I think it did the spin-off thing very well in that it was its own story, but it very much still existed in the larger universe, and they sprinkled in enough of that where we knew that it existed in the larger universe, and we saw, not only Easter eggs, but like actual like stuff from the larger world.
Mhm.
And along with that, it told a very compelling story. The way that it ended, I was I was only kind of ready, but I was not ready for the way it ended. And the fact that it made me feel feelings let me know that they did something.
Right.
They had something there, because I was like, oh no, what have you done?
Yeah, I was definitely shooketh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
shooketh indeed. And now, like, I can't, like, I don't want to wait for like, come on with it. We gotta get this going. Like,
Right.
I'm not trying to wait for the next season. Like, I need it.
yeah. I would say the good thing is that I mean they just recently released a trailer for The Boys season 4, and we know that that picks up a few days after the events of Gen V.
Damn
Um,
shame I don't watch trailers.
yeah. So we and there was we talked about it in our review, but there is a little bit of a character that I think is going to return. I won't get into anything, but I think one of our theories I think might come true, just kind of based on the trailer. But yeah, I'm excited for season 4 of The Boys to like continue this story for Gen V.
Because what I've been doing, normally I will, or at least this year, and maybe it's because of time, but like I've been kind of waiting for shows to come all the way out and then watch them. Uh, for this, I'm gonna be there week to week. I
Right.
need it immediately.
Immediately.
And this is a conversation that we talk about with TV shows all the time. Like, would you rather binge everything or watch week to week?
I want to binge it.
See, I'm a week to week. Late to the
I'm
bait.
I'm both. It's tough because I like the week to week banter of like, all right, what are they gonna do? The discussion. Sometimes it's more fun to be a part of that process. Whereas binging is cool, obviously getting through it, but also like Game of Thrones, for example. It was week to week. I didn't watch it when it was week to week. But when I binge straight through it, like I wish I would have had somebody to. I did, thankfully, but I had people to talk to. But I wish I would have been there during the week to week
Yeah.
analysis of every
Because I'm gonna say
scene.
you can throw out theories of what you think gonna happen, see if it actually
Yeah,
come true, talk about it. Like I enjoy that part of it.
yeah,
Well, I will be there for the boys,
yeah. Sure.
but I just wanted all of it. And
Right,
so all of the other shows that we discussed today, I like just kind of waited and saw it all at once and was happy with that, because I have to wait on nothing. I could just be like, "Oh shit," and then keep going.
right.
So,
Okay.
Jordan,
Yeah, so I'm trying to think. Should I hop in my anime bag first or should I save that for later?
save
Um,
save save the anime bag for later.
okay, that's fine. Now, is it fair if I talk about a show that's not quite done yet, but I've been really enjoying it?
It's
Think that's still fair?
2022, so no, go ahead.
Okay. So I mean, I just talked about Godzilla and how this is the 70th anniversary, and another project that came out of this Godzilla 70 is Monarch. Monarch is the newest Godzilla show on Apple, and this is basically following the events right after the 2014 Godzilla. We know it as G Day, the day Godzilla appeared, and this is the story has been fantastic. It's opening up the world more to the monsters that's in this universe. We see a little bit more monsters. We also see Godzilla, and we're basically following a woman who was a part of G Day, and we got to see how it has been affecting her and where this has taken to her. She's been going all across the world. Um, as of like this recording, there's 5 episodes out, so I think there's might be 3 more left. I think it's 8 episodes. But it's been a really good series so far, and I've been really enjoying it. So yeah, another Godzilla project. We're getting spoiled right now with Godzilla. So
I
yeah,
feel like they did have a really good cast. Can't remember.
I know the dude's name. I got to look at the cast right quick because I know the dude's name. Like I've seen him in other stuff. but I cannot remember his name. It's actually called Monarch: Legacy of Monsters. Um, what's this dude's name? Wyatt? No, that's not. I was gonna say Wyatt Russell. That's not him.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
that is one of Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, the
Are they
legend. I was like,
related?
that's his son. Yeah,
Oh, for real?
yeah. That's why people were like, he's playing the younger version.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, that was what's my
Yeah,
dude?
that's
Agent. Yeah,
yeah, what's U.S. agent? U.S.
U.S.
agent?
agent. Yeah,
Yeah, U.S. agent in Captain Falcon and Winter Soldier.
yep.
I did not know that. That's crazy. Well, we'll be
Sure.
definitely seeing him again in the Thunderbolts movie then. 'Cause,
Yep.
yeah. Well, yeah, the show's been really good. I'm blown away. I did not know that. That's kind of like when I found out that Bill Skarsgård is related to the other Skarsgård from the Thor universe.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I just recently found out like a month ago that that's father son and the other brother that we know him too. You know what I'm talking about?
Alexander.
Uh,
Yeah, Alexandra. You know who that is, Brandon?
I
I think he's
That's weird.
Tarzan.
It's funny you say that because I feel like somebody explained it to me fairly recently, and I was like, oh.
Yeah,
But now I'm getting them mixed up.
Because
he's a dude from Tarzan. He played the Northman.
Oh yeah, okay. I know
and
Northman.
then Bill Skarsgård was the villain in John Wick.
Yeah,
That's okay. That I got the names wrong, but I knew it was Skarsgård. Yeah,
yeah. They're all related. That's their son. And then there's
that's
also another Skarsgård too. But I'm like, yo, how you got three famous kids?
you got the acting family, man.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Anyway, Monarch, really good TV show. Definitely recommend people watch that one. What you got, Brandon?
I think we know where I'm starting. We tapping into the Star Wars universe. Ahsoka.
So I figured,
Uh, Ahsoka was one of the best shows of the year. Paid homage. It was one of those series that I think paid homage to the casuals and paid homage to the people, but then also like it's a very like Filoni didn't really give people much. Like he was just like, hey, you either watch Rebels or you didn't, or you watch Clone Wars or you didn't. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? He didn't give you a ton to work with, and so. But for those that are caught up, it was beautiful. Obviously, it was beautiful to see Anakin again and Sabine and all the characters, man. It was just a Balin. Like Balin was a star. Unfortunately, R.I.P. to Ray Stevenson, but like he was a superstar of the series. Um, but yeah, it was just a great show. Had a lot of fun with it, and Hera, she was great. Ghost and everything. So, um, yeah, just a great show. I thought it hit on everything, and then obviously built out a universe. You know, we got to see the Grand Admiral Thrawn,
Grand
which was
Admiral
huge.
Thrawn.
Yeah.
He's too much.
So yeah, he really is. So that we kind of got our main villain for like the new, universe moving forward. So great show. Not Andor, but great show.
I mean, also, I mean, Brandon, you released it on Instagram. If you follow us on Instagram, Dave Filoni got an upgrade.
They did. He is now the chief creative officer at Lucasfilm. So not even just Star Wars, like all the other stuff they own. But yeah, he'll mainly be worried about Star Wars. But yeah, so he's in the kitchen, head chef. He gets to do whatever he wants. So definitely excited to see what he does moving forward.
All
Excellent.
right.
Okay. Well, I, we're talking about Disney Plus, so I can go ahead and throw Loki in there.
Nice.
I did enjoy Loki. I had a good time with it. It was a slow burn.
Mm-hmm.
It took us a minute
Right.
before I started to be like, okay, right.
Right.
6
Um,
episodes.
yeah, and they were long episodes, and it took a minute, but we got there. I did walk away with questions
Mm-hmm.
because time travel is nonsense, but that's okay. I still enjoyed what I got. We got to see, Loki kind of fulfill what he wanted. It wasn't quite what he had in mind, but
Right.
he did accomplish his goals. So it's made me wonder where we're gonna go from here. Um, as I said before, Jonathan Majors as He Who Remains was just so good.
Yeah.
Victor Timely, cool. He was
Mm.
he was acting, but uh
Overacting, but yeah.
yeah, but yeah, the He Who Remains was yes, was so good.
Yeah.
OB, loved OB.
Oh yeah. Oh, he was great.
Uh I loved Mobius. Like I mean everybody I just enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the dialogue. I enjoyed their time together.
Yeah.
The discussions that were had and everything. So yeah. And again, the what's gonna happen in the future, how is this going to impact the MCU? Because it doesn't, like, we saw the first season of Loki, but it doesn't, did it feel like the first season of Loki affected anything that came behind it?
No, not at all.
Like
Not
it feels like
really.
the first season of Loki just happened in a vacuum. And so I am hopeful that that is not the case here, because there are a lot of things the MCU is doing and has done that we will hopefully see fruit from. And I'm going to try to continue to let them cook, because as we have said with the post endgame phases, it has not been all good, but I'm trying to give them grace and give them time to see how the finish line is looking.
Yeah.
But I know that that's in question as well, just because they need to decide who's gonna be there.
Yeah.
But Loki itself, even if it does exist in a vacuum, I still enjoyed it. But I do hope that we are able to see how Loki will affect the larger universe, because whenever we saw the first season, that's a part of what made it really good, is like, oh shit, how is this going to impact everything?
Yeah.
And it kind of didn't.
Yeah, that was
Right.
disappointing.
So I'm hopeful that that is not the case here. Like
I'm
I'm hopeful that this is not just setting up for season 3. Like hopefully that there's actually some, like, based on how it ended, I'm like, you can't not have ramifications. But
yeah.
we'll see.
I'm I'm gonna miss the Loki universe, uh, just the TVA and all that stuff. It's gonna be, and then like you said, the cast was amazing. So I mean, I don't think there's gonna be a Loki season 3, but I mean, I think obviously, hopefully, like you said, we'll get ramifications where some of these people will show up, some other series or something. That'd be cool. But yeah, I'll miss the cast dynamic and the dialogue. That's one of the few MCU movies we've seen, or I guess content we've seen where it was like more heavy dialogue, which is really
Yeah.
cool. So
I think if anybody, we should definitely see Mobius pop up in the movies. Like I feel like he would be the one character that we would see.
yeah, I want to see Mobius or OB. I don't know how OB would get involved, but yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Um, okay. I think I honestly believe in my heart that this is the best show that released in 2023. Um, and that's The Last of Us. What an amazing show. And for someone who didn't play the game, all of this was brand new to me. And when I tell you, I enjoyed every single episode. There was no miss on any episode. Some of the best episodes on TV, which I think this show I believe is going to win a lot of awards. But more in particular, I think episode 3 dealing with Bill and Frank, and episode 4 probably dealing with the brothers. I think this show is by far the best show in 2023, hands down. Um, they recently announced that unfortunately season 2 is coming in 2025, so we gotta wait, 2 whole years. Um, well, it depends on if it's like winter 2025. That'd be 2 years. But anyway, I'm super sad it's not next year, because I'm looking forward to getting back into this universe to the point where I recently picked up a PlayStation 5, and I might actually pick up both of these games so I can play the story. Pedro Pascal, we know he has been everywhere this year, and I think this is his best role that he's had. I might say his career. I might honestly say his career.
Mandalorian's up there, but no, I agree. This was
Acting wise, this is because in Mandalorian, I mean, what real acting is he doing in Mandalorian? He's a gunslinger, right?
I mean, kind of, but I mean, his relationship with little man, Grogu, father son dynamic.
His relationship with Grogu versus his relationship with Ellie, bro, that's night and day. And you cannot compare Ellie to Grogu. Ellie is Grogu 10 times better. I'm gonna stand behind what I said. I think this is Pedro's best performance in anything he's ever done. Um, and yeah, the show was amazing. And I think did we review the show? I can't remember.
Yes,
Okay.
pretty sure we did.
Okay. I didn't watch it, so if it well, I was not a part of that.
Spencer, I'm telling
Wait,
you.
you didn't watch it?
I did not. There are too many shows.
So wait, did we
I
review this then?
swore we watched this. I could have swore we did.
If we did, I didn't.
Man, I have to go back and see who was on the episode with us then. Spencer, man, you have to go back and see this show. This show was amazing. And I'm telling you, it's gonna clean up at whatever award show is gonna be in.
Emmys are TV.
Okay. This show's gonna clean up the Emmys.
And Golden Globes, I think, just do whatever they want.
Emmys, I want to say I've only seen one thing, but supporting actor Emmys, it's only like 5 people who are candidates, and Last of Us had 4 of them.
They have 4 of the nominees.
4 of the 5. The 2.
Jeez, that's crazy.
The 2 from the episode.
The Bill and Frank episode.
Bill and Frank, and then the 2 brothers.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that. I swear I didn't even know that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
that makes
I forgot
sense.
The last person was like from Succession or somebody, but
okay,
yeah,
that makes sense. I mean, in the Deaf Brother, he's going places.
Yeah, no, he was one of the nominees. Yeah, he's young. He's gonna kill it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my show, man. The Last of Us. Can't wait for season 2.
Huh? Okay. I have a few shows. I will say I started. I'll talk about The Bear. The Bear.
I keep hearing about that.
It's a really good show, man, and some people don't like it because it's a little slow. It's not like one of those like slapstick comedy, joke every 10 seconds type of shows. It's more a little slower, and it's really like dedicated to like true, like being a chef, owning a restaurant, like the little like day-to-day monotonous part of it all. They really dig into that. And so, but no, the cast is star-studded. It's amazing. Some of my favorite actors are on that cast. And yeah, it's just really fun. Like it's a good show. It deals with it really digs into like side characters and their lives, and some of the characters. This is one black dude who comes in. He's the baker. He just makes the cakes and makes the bread and all that stuff. But then they have episodes that dig into his life and the stuff he's going through. It's really good, man. So The Bear, really, really good show. It has a lot of hype. I mean, some people don't think it lives up to it. I think it does, but I would suggest people to check it out.
Yeah, I only hear good things about that show.
Yeah.
But Brandon, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I think the show came out in 2022.
Oh well, season 2.
Oh, season 2. Oh, okay.
Yeah, my bad. I meant to specify that. Yeah.
Okay. So a show that I have enjoyed ever since it came out and wasn't sure if I would have time to get back into, and I actually didn't even realize that the 3rd season of it came out, is The Morning Show. The Morning Show is on Apple TV, and it, follows the lives of people who work for the #1 news station in all the land. And in this season, they bring in John Hamm, and he shakes things up a little bit. And there's a guy who in the earlier seasons isn't, but then becomes the CEO. And his whole thing is that he remains pretty calm. He will make a joke in a stressful situation. He, keeps his cool and, all that. This season gets to him.
Hmm.
We're starting to see him, lash out a little bit because there's some wild shit going on. And yeah, we see him lose his cool, which is very out of the ordinary. And it's one of those shows where, nobody's perfect.
Right.
Everybody not necessarily does something shady, but like does something that is morally questionable depending on who you ask. And so yeah, there's some gray in the show. And it's like, who do you root for?
Right.
Because this person did this thing, and I may agree with them, but it may have been against the law. Or I may not agree with them, or whatever. So, and because it's a show about news coverage, like everything's on the table.
Right.
Like they had the January 6th thing, like
Yeah.
they
Oh, they talked about that?
oh yeah, like they had one of the people in the show was there at the riot.
Damn.
Like, so they had like the riot happening in the show. They talk about Putin. Yeah, like whatever's going on. They when COVID happened, they did a whole thing about that. Yeah, it's whatever's going on. Yeah, they're gonna talk about it.
I've heard good things. I've heard some people like literally got Apple or got it or kept Apple
I'm
TV because
yeah,
of
I said
the morning show.
like Ted Lasso and the morning show were the reason I was like, nah, I'm gonna need Apple TV.
Ted Lasso is next on my list after I finish the show I'm currently watching on Apple because I recently
People
just got Apple.
see, I don't have Apple, but people keep telling me I would like Ted Lasso.
Yeah, Ted Lasso's good.
Yeah. It's funny that we're talking about Apple because my next show is actually on Apple as well. And the show is called Hijack, and this is the show with Idris Elba. Did you see this one, Spencer?
No, but I saw Idrissa was in a show on a plane, and I was like, I'm gonna need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's on my list. And whenever we're done here, I'm gonna have a question for everyone. So
Okay.
yeah.
So yeah, this show was the first show. As soon as we got Apple from a friend, we were going to watch Severance first and then Ted Lasso. But then we saw the preview for this, and I was like, oh, this looks interesting. I think it was only 8 episodes. I was like, we can knock this out before this. Hey man, I was not expecting to be like on the edge of my seat, wondering what's going to happen. So the premise of the show is Idris Elba's character. He is on a plane that happens to get hijacked by a group of people, and basically they have the flight total is 6 hours, so they have 6 hours to basically for Idris Elba basically to figure out, you know, how to get this plane safely, how to deal with the hijackers. He just wants to make it back home to his family. So the show is 8 episodes. I think it might be seven or 8 episodes. But it's really good. We had a really good time with this show. And yeah, man, it was a really great time, great thriller. It was a good thriller to start with Apple, and I was highly impressed with what Apple did with that one. So, yeah, that's my TV show.
I've heard good things about it. I've heard like you go to Apple if you want to watch like a very grown up, like very you know what I mean, top tier television.
It's a lot of sci-fi on there. I noticed.
Yeah,
And
for real.
I'm into sci-fi. So like I have 5 shows on my list right now that I need to check out.
What's up?
And it's got some good kid stuff too, because there's a book that my son has called Pretzel and His Pups.
Mm-hmm.
It's a show about weenie dogs, and
Yeah.
Or it's a book about weenie dogs, and then there's a show on Apple TV of them, and so that's
Oh, I hadn't even looked at kid stuff. I need to. I've just been looking at all the sci-fi stuff.
yeah, that's one of our shows is Pretzel and His Pups. They live in Montgomery.
Oh man, Montgomery, huh?
Montgomery.
Got
Spend
a
some
couple
money to get
couple
that
brown
out. That's
dogs.
hilarious.
Yeah.
The dogs are brown.
Oh man, we might need to look at the show a little bit closer.
That's
Their
funny.
names all start with P's, not N's, so it's fine.
Oh man.
That's funny. Um, yeah, I mean, I have a few here that I'll hit on. Speaking of shows that are from books, that kid shows, I'll hit on these real quick. Netflix, Hilda,
Oh yeah,
banger, bro.
my kids are watching that right now. Actually.
Bruh, banger. That shit just hits, bro. It gives you sort of a Gravity Falls type of vibe, but just man, and they have like movies on there too, but they have like the series. I think there's a new season on now, but like the animation is very clean and very simple, but like the voice acting is amazing. The stories are really good. They dig into stuff, and it's like, and it's I think it's really good for kids because it's like the girl has a lot of imagination. It's a lot of stuff going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she's kind of fighting. She wants to live in the wilderness, where naturally, but then she's also having to assimilate to living in the city and things of that nature. But yeah, Hilda top tier.
Yeah, my oldest has been watching that show. I haven't really sat down and watched it with her, but I've been sitting on the TV.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man. It really is. Another one, My Dad the Bounty Hunter. My daughter's
Oh,
watched that
I know that one. Yeah, I seen that one.
95 times. And yeah, it's really good. It's funny. It has some good voice actors in it. The animation is pretty solid too. But no, it's pretty funny. And yeah, lastly, you know, I have a weird thing about like franchises. Like if I see there's a franchise, I low key am like, all right, I got to get involved. I have to be. I don't like not knowing stuff. So like the Godzilla stuff, like I've been tapping into Godzilla. I've been watching 2014, Skull Island, and
Yeah.
the Godzilla versus Kong. I recently watched. Well, recently I was like, all right, I like Star Wars. I've heard about Star Trek. I'm not about to. No, that's a long list of stuff I got to dig into.
Yeah.
But I was like, is there anything recent that I think is good? I ain't gonna lie. The reason I got into it because there was this black woman that's fine as hell that's on
And this
Star
nigga get
Trek.
into it for the wrong reasons.
I mean, I was like, I was like, oh, okay, she a black woman, okay. And then I recently tapped into Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. It came out in 2022, or season 2 came out this year, and man, it's hilarious. It's really good. Like it's really good. The CGI and all that stuff is really good. It pays homage to the old stuff, which I kind of like. Like I like franchises that kind of pay homage to their stuff, even if you don't know. I'd rather it pay homage and me find out afterwards. But like, yeah, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds has been really good. I'm also watching the Star Trek animated series. That's pretty good too. It's pretty funny. It's like Lower Deck. Star Trek Lower Deck. It's hilarious. Kind of Rick and Morty, but like in the Star Trek universe.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like talking about the people who aren't the star of the show. They're kind of like working on the ships and all that stuff. It's pretty funny. But yeah, Star Trek. I'm getting into it. It's fun to like see what this universe is, how different it is from Star Wars and things of that nature. So yeah, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, pretty good so far.
Spencer, you got any other shows?
No. There are too many shows.
Gotcha.
Like so I've been catching up on some 2022 shit.
Oh yeah, you a little behind, huh?
There are too many shows.
I guess
And there's some shows I watched that weren't good that we will talk about in the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Right.
I'll quickly hit some of these anime ones.
Please,
this is
quickly.
actually this dude. Don't do that. This first one, I mean, me and Spencer literally talked about it today. But My Hero Academia season 6 dropped this year. A banger. This was a banger. Shigaraki is his all-time high right now, and I know Spencer's not done with it, so I won't spoil anything.
Man,
But
this is a problem.
yeah, Shigaraki is a huge problem, and the heroes in this universe will soon find out how big of a problem he is. So yeah, enjoyed that season a lot. New show, called Hell's Paradise. I've told people before I'm a huge fighting anime fan. So if you can draw me in with big fights, big battles, and then also you give me a good world, you got me hooked. And this show also gave me that. Um, Hell's Paradise it was a really great time. I enjoyed season one a lot. I may start reading this. I've still been debating on reading it, but we'll see how that goes. And then the last show is called Pluto. And this one is actually on Netflix. And this is outside of something that I would normally watch. But this is like almost like a detective type anime. It's kind of combined the Astro Boy concept. Like they definitely pull a lot from Astro Boy. But this one was really good to kind of check out, and I definitely recommend to people who kind of enjoy like a detective slash almost shonen, but not really shonen, but more of like detective style anime. And that one is Pluto. So yeah, those are the three anime that I want to shout out.
Okay. So before we jump into everything else, what is one movie that you wish you had seen?
Oh, I have a whole list. So that's my whole other one. I got a whole list for that.
Okay.
So I'm gonna save mine.
That's a good question. I mean, Oppenheimer. There's quite a few. Like all the like big blockbuster movies, all the big like, you know, everybody talked about it every day. I really didn't watch most of those.
Barbie. Nobody's messing with Barbie.
Didn't
I
see
absolutely
Barbie.
watched Barbie.
Oh.
True.
And
Yeah, I wasn't
I
messing with Barbie.
enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It wasn't like again solid, but not worth me saying it was one of the best movies of the year. But I enjoyed it. It was a good time. It was very woke, and I had no issues with that. But I know a lot of people who will.
I wonder if white women love Barbie more or the Taylor Swift movie.
Taylor Swift, I think.
I'll say that's a good question.
No, I don't know. I think it's a really good question.
Yeah.
They were saying that Barbie was the white women's Black Panther.
They were saying that.
I wasn't hearing that about Taylor Swift, but I know a lot of people went to go see
I feel
Taylor
like
Swift.
Taylor Swift kind of can hit your more conservative woman and your more liberal woman, where Barbie was specifically for a certain type of woman.
I don't know, man. I've seen all kind of demographics of white women going to go see Barbie.
I mean yeah, demographic
women in general, but yeah. Okay. Yeah, definitely Oppenheimer. I just again there's too many things. I feel like did Expendables 4 come out this year?
Bro, I'm be honest. Last Expendables I watched was 2. I didn't even know 4 was out
I think
there.
you're right. And so I think it was this year.
And that's the thing, like that's just one of those like bullshit violent movies that I'm gonna watch because it's bullshit violence.
Oh
like,
yeah,
I love.
I'm
not there for acting, but I'm there for, the ridiculousness about it. But
oh my god, this movie did terrible. I just literally
Expendables did.
Yeah, I literally just Googled it because I was trying to see when it come out. The Rotten Tomatoes say 14.
Ooh. But also not surprised.
Man of particular skills, like we talked about.
Like just a group of dudes who are killers. Like,
but the audience is 71%. That's pretty impressive. That's
a
big
Expendables
difference
too. Yeah, it's tomfoolery, but they lean into it. You know what I mean? One movie I did want to see, The Iron Claw. I'm gonna go see that. I'm gonna see that pretty soon. About the Von Erich family, professional wrestling. Actually, MJF is in the movie.
Oh, bro, I have no idea what any of the words you literally just said.
Yo, you're fine. You'll catch up.
What did you say? STD? What did you say? MJD?
MJF. I've talked about MJF numerous times.
What is that?
Maxwell Jacob Freeman.
Right,
better than you, and you know
three. I've never heard those 3 words spoken out of your mouth before.
That's just not true.
Yeah, you're not a listener then. That exposes you. But yeah, the Iron Claw, Von Erich family, tragic story where like there was like 4 brothers who were killing it in the wrestling. They grew up in Texas. Basically, was like as popular as Ric Flair, as popular as Dusty Rhodes, as popular as all those people. And unfortunately, throughout the years, the brothers committed suicide for different reasons, or one of them died, and then the others kind of committed suicide, and there's only one brother left, even to this day. So it's I think it's going to be a really good one. I meant to watch it, and I'll definitely go see it pretty soon. But yeah.
Okay. One movie that I kind of wish I had seen was the new Mission Impossible,
Yeah.
but also I'm not caught up on Mission Impossible.
Yeah, I
So
feel the same. Like I
I
jumped
was
in
like,
a random one is I know I would need to go back and watch them all.
yeah, like I'd have to do homework for it to make sense, and who has the time?
People
Yeah.
without kids.
Really. Are there any shows that you wish you had watched,
I
or
mean,
that I mean, will go back and watch? Just haven't watched yet. Let's say that.
Like I mentioned, Sisu's one I'm gonna go back and watch. Oh, actually, no, that's late 2022. I want to say, trying to think if there are any. Pretty much watched all superhero movies. Um,
Because one show that I definitely plan on going back to watch is the newest season of Castlevania.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing
mm,
people talking about that.
Yeah, that and Blue Eyed Samurai.
That's what I was gonna say. That's on my
yeah,
list too.
Yeah,
I've
I
been
need
hearing all
to.
about that.
I
I
need to.
started it. Them damn episodes is an hour long. I was like, yeah, hang on, I gotta sit down for this one. I thought it was gonna be like 30 minutes, but nah, it was like 8, 12 fucking all them episodes.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to catch both of those.
Yeah, most of mine is anime related. Like I need to finish Skull Island, the anime on Netflix. I need to finish that one. Blue Eye Samurai, My Demon on Netflix. Like there's a lot of mine's shows or anime related that I just haven't had time to get to.
yeah. I don't know how the fuck I forgot. My bad. My Adventures with Superman should have been on my top TV shows of the year list. Um, yeah. I was trying to think like the Monarch show that Jordan talked about. Um, there's Yeah, it's just so much out there, man. Like
Yeah,
there's some animated shows that I'm like, oh, it looks interesting.
there's a new South Park special that I still haven't got to watch yet. That I need to.
Hmm. Scavenger's Reign, I've heard good things about. So I don't know, on Max. Let's say HBO Max. Um, yeah, it's just so much. Gotta catch up on.
Okay. Okay. So, what other things came out that you thought were good in Year of Our Lord 2023? So we've talked about movies, we've talked about TV shows. Any other things? Comic books, regular books, video games, anything that's, not in the not exactly a movie or a TV show that you enjoyed. Jordan.
Yeah, so kind of like I talked about, like my third category was stuff that I missed. I wonder if I should have just mentioned them a while ago, but I'll do it anyway. Stuff that I missed. I really wanted to watch the Teen Wolf movie because I was a huge Teen Wolf fan of the MTV show that was coming on TV, and then
That is
after it ended,
surprising.
dude, I was big into Teen Wolf when it was on MTV.
I mean, just as toxic
It
as
makes
you
no
were
sense.
back then,
I
I'm
know.
really surprised that you liked. Like, I would have made fun of you for Teen Wolf.
Yeah, hey man,
Coming of age? Come on,
hey
man.
man,
What are you doing?
I was all behind Teen Wolf, man. And then they released the movie like 10 years later. And I meant to check it out. It was exclusively on Peacock, and at that time I didn't have Peacock, so that's why I didn't watch it. And then now that I have Peacock, I haven't even thought about it. Um, so that's one of the ones that I need to go back and watch. But yeah, that's my first one.
Okay, Brandon.
Um, it's a comic book that I'm actually reading now, but I'm majority done, and it's one of the best I've read. Is the Supergirl comic book, Woman of Tomorrow. Tom King is actually what James Gunn is basing his Supergirl movie off of. It's so good, man. Like it's a totally different perspective of Supergirl. With Cara Zor-El is like she's funny. She's like she don't got her shit together. You know what I mean? Where in the Supergirl show, like in CW, like she was kind of like the Captain America of superheroes, right? She did everything right. She was trying to be. Where this one is like she drinks. She, you know what I mean? She's just,
She's human.
just yeah. She's like, I think she ends up
imperfect.
she's not perfect. She ends up on a desolate planet and just trying to figure things out. Like she's not a perfect superhero at all. She's like the opposite of Superman. So yeah, it's just really good. The art is really beautiful. Honestly, like I've actually tried to draw some of the pictures. Like it's really good stuff. I really enjoyed it. Tom King is not the easiest person to read. He actually he used to be like a CIA agent back in the day that ended up writing comics. So he's written some of the greatest Batman stories ever. His stuff is not easy to read, but I feel like in this one he kind of opens up and is more like funny. He doesn't have to do like the whole detective Batman stuff to try to make stuff complicated just to, suffice Batman fans. Where this one he can just kind of open up and have a good time. And yeah, it's a great comic book. I kind of read it because I was like, I want to see what James Gunn gonna do, but I've truly enjoyed it. I'm almost done. So
now,
say
Brandon,
that one.
now this is a strike for you. Now,
What?
this came out in 2022, man.
No way.
You just late to the game.
What? I wonder if it came out late. Did it come out early?
July.
Okay. Well, actually, when did the graphic novel come out?
I mean, does it matter when the graphic novel come out? That's like saying the movie came out in
It come out
October,
every
but the
month.
Blu-ray came out in fucking February.
It came out once a episode, but no, that is true. Okay, the other one I did have though did come out this year with Transformers, and it's been great so far. I think we're four
I think
four
it's
issues
four.
in.
Yeah, I think it's 4 right now. Yeah,
Yeah, and I'm reading it, man. It's so good. Um, he's doing the author's doing a great job of like just the visuals. One of my favorite artists, Daniel Warren Johnson, is his name, right?
Yeah.
And he actually like low key makes you terrified of Decepticons. Like it was one where this this fighter jet pilot is like chasing what's my dude's name?
Starscream.
Starscream. Chasing Starscream.
Her.
Yeah, he's thinking Starscream is like just a regular ass jet. And then you see the chirp, 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 you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he turns around and like Starscream is like smiling because he knows like, oh yeah, I'm about to fuck this dude up.
Yeah.
And then
I got him now.
the pilot's like, oh shit. And so the pilot hits eject. It's 2 pilots in there. They hit eject. They're like, all right, we're good. And then they end up floating away. And then you just see a panel of Starscream like face to face with them. Obviously, Starscream is like 30 times bigger than them. And he's like, hi. And then next thing you know, you see Starscream just smash him. Like you just see blood. And it's just like, you wouldn't see that in anything else Transformers related. Like that would never happen.
No, yeah, you're right.
So like, it was just like, oh shit, like this niggas is catching bodies. You know what I mean? And like, that never was the case. And like, that's happened a few times in this comic book run. We're only 4 issues in. So, and just Transformers in general, sometimes, again, like I said, like I read one that was strictly about the Beast Transformers, and it was very kiddie, and it was the art was kind of trash. Where in this one, it's like very, it's for grown-ups. Yeah. He respects the universe. So those are my 2.
Okay. I watched a couple of stand-ups this year, so I'm gonna use that as my other. The first one I want to talk about is Shane Gillis.
One of my favorites.
Dude's hilarious. Like
Jordan, I think you would like him, but then also I don't know.
Nah, he don't even look. Just by the picture, he don't even look like he gonna. I like dark comedy. Y'all know I like dark comedy.
He's dark as it gets.
Oh, is he dark? Oh, okay.
Like he is not worried about getting canceled. I'll say that
at all.
Like he will
at
let
all.
that thing fly.
Yeah.
And it's great. Like he's the one who told the joke about Alabama not allowing black players until the 70s,
Yeah.
but how football trumps racism.
Yeah. That was a good joke.
Yeah, because he
Yeah.
was like, we keep losing. It's like that. Those black kids, they can run a 4.3. We won state allowing those
Right.
black kids. Those are my brothers.
Exactly. He talked about how like trans women should just form a football team so they could, you know what I mean? He's like, you go 12-0 and beat Alabama, ain't nobody give a damn what
Yeah.
trans rights.
He talked
uh,
about he toured George Washington's home and
yeah,
how it was rough.
yeah,
He talks about how he could pass for somebody with Down syndrome.
yeah,
He said that
okay.
whenever he was wearing a mask, they were, weren't sure.
yeah. He said he took advantage of it.
Yeah. So yeah, that was it was funny. And he's funny. Like anytime I see clips of him, I will sit and watch it.
Yeah, I send those clips off
Yeah.
consistently because I love him because he was in the military. He played football as a kid, but he was in the military. He's huge on history. But he's also like, and I think that's what he usually references history, like you said with the George Washington thing. I see some interviews like they'll ask him, he knows like military leaders and stuff, so that's really cool. I like that. But like you said, he does not care about being canceled. He'll talk about anything, anybody. But it
Yeah.
also has a point to it. He isn't just saying like wild shit just to say it. You know what I'm saying?
And this thing, if you're gonna say cancel worthy shit, be funny.
Yeah,
And Mans is funny.
man, it's hilarious, bro. Like he can go into a black crowd, be hilarious. He can go into a white crowd, be hilarious.
Yeah, like
Sounds
he's
like I
pretty.
need to check it out then. It might be my type of comedy then, huh?
I think
I
so,
think so.
but also I don't know. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't know.
he's like as far as dark, yeah, like he covers that.
He checks that box. Yeah.
But yeah, he's good. Um, Another stand up that I watched was Beth Stelling. I think it's Stelling, but yeah, Beth Stelling. I think hers was also on Netflix. Pretty good, pretty dry.
Hmm.
But, I still enjoyed it. I had never heard of this person until I watched this stand up because I will just see somebody I've never seen before and be like, they have a stand up? Yeah, let's see what he's
Yeah.
talking about. And hers was pretty good. And
Oh,
then Mateo Lane, who I had seen do like random. So he had been in like a couple of, they have like stand-ups would be like 6 people that'll get like a 20-minute set or something.
yeah.
Like he's been in a couple of those, but he did a special, I think on YouTube,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
about hair plugs
Yeah.
and and he's funny. I like seeing him on stuff that he does. But yeah, he's gay and he talks about that, and it's hilarious, honestly.
Yeah. I need to get back in the stand-up game. I missed it this past year.
Yeah, I
He
would
also
say.
he also talks about being Italian, which is also funny.
Uh, I'll say the last couple ones I got, and I'll just quickly go with them. I missed the Digimon movie that came out. There was a new Digimon movie that came out. It sucked because it was in like one theater here, and it was only showing for 2 days, and it was like 7 o'clock at night. Which anybody with kids, that is a terrible time.
Yeah.
So I missed that one. I still haven't watched the new Attack on Titan special. I just haven't sat down and watched that yet. You watched it yet,
Same.
Spencer?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Okay. Yes, I need to check that one out. And then my last one is definitely, which I am going to watch. I think it's a show. I'm going to watch that week to week. It starts actually on the 14th, and this is Yu Yu Hakusho, the live action version of it. And I'm a big Yu Yu Hakusho fan, so I'm going to watch that week to week. And I might even review it. I'm still debating about it, but those are definitely big. And then, of course, I'm getting action figures all throughout the year. I would just say stay tuned check out our Instagram for a video coming through of my favorite figures from 2023 that was picked up and that was actually released in 2023. Not like Brandon talks about stuff that was released in years before. This is actually going to be 2023 pickups.
Yeah. Relax.
So, yeah, that's everything. You got anything else, Brandon?
That's kind of it. I mean, the other stuff I kind of talked about in our comic book council, the Ranger Academy series is still going. That's really been a really great read. Been kind of refreshing to the Power Rangers universe. But yeah, I mean, a lot of things can fall under others, but yeah, it's been a lot of good. Heard a lot of good podcasts this year that have been pretty fun to listen to. Some basketball ones. The Mismatch is really good. There's this one with two. There's a one podcast with two like British dudes and two black dudes
Hits and
that are
Gigs.
yeah,
Shits and Gigs is hilarious.
hilarious, bro.
Those dudes are like James be on there saying wild shit.
Wild shit. And like I really started tapping in like the last like month and a half. And man, they are hilarious, bro. Like, so that's something like I know they were way before 2023, but like that's when I discovered them. And so yeah, I really enjoyed them.
Okay. Spencer, you got anything?
I mean, as far as podcasts go, I have been tapping into some nostalgia, and Ned's Declassified has a podcast.
Yo, they have been going nuts on that show. This is wild. Stuff they've been talking about.
Yeah, I learned that they were adults.
Yeah.
Big time.
Because you assume that actors on shows do things in their personal lives, but yeah, to hear about it, like I was like,
Man.
Mose, you was out here.
Dude.
Okay, Mose.
Yeah, that girl was a freak.
Like, yeah, I was because that's the thing. Ned was like, oh, we gonna talk about it?
Right.
We doing this? Okay. And then Ren Stevens and Chelsea from That's a Raven have a podcast called Big Name Bitches. And that's also a good fun time. They're just in there just being wonderful and entertaining.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think both of those podcasts started this year. They may have started last year, but I feel like they both started this year.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, 2023 has been an exciting year, and it had a lot to offer between movies and TV shows. So if we didn't mention some of the movies and TV shows, that we thought should have been on there, let us know. What were some of your favorite movies and TV shows from 2023? And if they're worth, checking out, if we should watch them, definitely let us know on any of our social platforms, LMG Podcast or the League of Melanated Gentlemen. Let us know. So, with that being said, we're never duplicated.
Always appreciate it.
And forever melanated.